Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Campster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we're going to be talking about The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, Season 1. I thought it was glamorous before we watched it, but...
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. I prefer glamorous, though. It sounds less sleazy.
But I think... Okay, well, we'll get to it later, so...
I'm just saying. I prefer
No,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, alright.
But I think that's relevant to the discussion we'll have about it later.
Before we get to that, it's time for catching up with Ellie and Liam. Catch me up.
Had an office summer party, Liam.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was fine.
What was it? Is it
Bit weird.
Celebrating the summer?
Yeah, it was just they've never done one before. They decided, hey, let's have a office summer party.
Was it kind of like the Wicker Man?
Like, did we build a giant wicker man and try and burn someone alive in it?
Yeah, like dress up as animals and sort of skip around and have Christopher Lee singing somewhere, even though he's dead.
No, not like that at all.
Oh. So it wasn't very, like, paganistic.
No, weird that. The company I work for, doesn't have a reputation for being particularly pagan.
What does it have a reputation for?
I don't really want to talk about it because while I don't say the name on here so that I don't get in trouble, I feel like if someone from work were to find this and I was just sitting here being like, oh, this is the reputation it's got, they'd probably be upset.
So, we can extrapolate from that. Not a good one.
It's got a fine reputation.
Anyway, so tell me more about this party.
It was fine.
That's not really, like, selling it. Like, what happened? Did you drink?
Yep, free alcohol till 10.
And then what happened after 10?
The alcohol was paid for.
By the company?
So Liam,
Right.
There was free alcohol till 10.
Yeah.
The sort of logical conclusion to what happens after 10 is that we would have to pay for the drinks. Oh. Traditionally, if it's free drinks till 10, that usually means, and after 10, they're not going to be free. Most people don't go, free drinks till 10, and also afterwards.
That would be good, though.
It would be. That would have been an amazing twist.
So,
but what all that led to was at about 9:55, most of the party went, oh shit, the drinks aren't going to be free in a minute, and then everyone went and just grabbed 3 bottles of beer each and were just wandering around with them.
Yeah, that's probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah, it was, and everyone did it. So
yeah.
I don't really know what their plan was, because that was obviously going to happen.
Fair enough. Any exciting gossip from the party?
No. They had fire dancers at the party, which was a weird choice, because no one watched them except me and the sort of 3 people that I was sitting down with at the time.
Why would you hire... So it's fire dancers?
Yeah, so, they did a bit of... I think one of them did a tiny bit of... Did he do fire eating? I think he sort of did some fire eating at one point. But a lot of it was, swinging around those dangly chains with fire on them.
Yeah. The things that, like hippie-looking people do on the beaches at uni to try and impress girls, but never works.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
And it didn't impress anyone at this party. Literally no one watched them. It was very depressing. I was like, these poor people have been hired.
Yeah.
Are doing something that is, difficult and also dangerous.
At our last work party, which was a Christmas one, we had a magician, which I think is always the safe choice to go with a sort of work party.
They had done a magician at the Christmas work party, so I feel like they were probably
done that.
Can you do a magician twice in a row?
Yeah, I think you should. I think it's preferable to fire dancing, isn't it?
Well, it depends on what you're there for, Liam.
What were you there for?
Party.
So did you really need entertainment then?
No, we didn't.
Was there a DJ?
There was a live band at one point.
Okay, what band was it?
I had no idea. I didn't watch them.
Were they playing original songs or covers?
Again, no idea. I didn't watch them.
What was the point of having them there then?
Well, a lot of people did, but the rest of us just hung around outside. It was very hot, so it was like a big hall.
Yeah.
Inside, huge, with a buffet in it, and then there was outside, which was this sort of astroturfed area with chairs all set up, with a buffet there as well. So, in the middle of this British heatwave that is hell, sitting outside. What? In the middle of the British heatwave?
Yeah.
You're aware we're in the middle of a heatwave?
Yeah, but it's not hell. I want to talk about it as my catching up with.
Oh yeah, sorry. Listeners, just to remind everyone, Liam works from home where he just can casually open some windows, turn on his big tower fans that he bought and just relax. At work, I'm in an air-conditioned building, which sounds fine, except when you leave the building for anything, you are immediately hit by the inferno that is London.
Yeah.
You then have to travel to and from London on trains that are rammed with people, which only some are air-conditioned because Britain is the slowest country at realising, hey, let's not make these carriages that heat up in the sun cooler.
Well, we so rarely need it, to be honest.
You don't need it at all, is the thing.
No, but I mean, we as in the country.
We are going to need it, Liam, because
Yeah, no,
this
we
is
are.
apparently our summers from now on are going to be this.
Perfect. I'm loving it. I really
I hate
am.
you so much.
Honestly, I'm so
angry about this, listeners. I know you all want to hear more about my amazing party, but I want to move on to Liam's catching up with, because he wants to talk about this heat, and I want to shout at him about how wrong he is.
Honestly, I'm so bored of seeing people moaning on Twitter and stuff like, oh, it's too hot. Oh,
It is too
I hate
hot.
it. I'm loving it. It feels like holiday weather. It feels like every day is a holiday. It's brilliant. I've been going to bed at night with like the windows open, the fan on, and I've just been sleeping like a baby every single night. It's fantastic. I've absolutely loved it. I
can't wait for you to move house and
thing
get somewhere
is-
that's shitter than this place.
But the thing
Like,
is, this
I
place,
want you to end up like top floor of a flat, so all the heat rises.
yeah, but this place isn't built for heat either, because it's really well insulated, so it gets really hot in this place. But I think the problem is, I hate like our typical British weather, which is cold and wet and windy and just miserable. I hate that. So to finally have like the opposite for like more than a week, I'm just in my element. I'm so happy with it. I like have made.
I mean, the real issue with that sentence was you saying "my element" as if any natural place or situation on Earth could be suited to you.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I think it's been great. Like, okay, I'm quite hairy, so like my legs get a bit sweaty and stuff at times.
No, hair's good for heat. It does. It like having hair helps. There's something to do with the way the hair follicles are, that it lets air flow through and it cools you down.
Yeah, that's totally possible if you're moving.
It's not only possible, Liam. It is a fact.
Yeah, but if you're moving, I don't move a lot.
No, it's not if you're moving. Don't
okay.
take the fact I just told you and try and make it your own thing.
You should feel the back of my legs right now and be like, oh yeah,
I
that
don't
hair
want
is
to.
a good idea, because
I don't
they're
want
just
to.
like wet.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, I don't
Sweat
mind
helps
it.
cool you down.
I don't mind it. I honestly absolutely loving it. I hope that this lasts for at least another month.
Well, it will. It's happening until August.
Like I get it. Like you know, when I walk to my car, it's fine. I've been wearing a lot of shorts, a lot of vest tops. It's hot, but I don't know why everyone's moaning. I would understand public transport,
Because they have to go to work.
Yeah, public transport's probably not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't apply to me, so I'm loving it. It's so good. It's so good, honestly.
No, what do you mean honestly? I'm in the heat wave with you. It's not. I feel like you've misunderstood. The issue isn't that you're experiencing something different to me. So.
No, but I think the
So
issue
I know how bad it is.
Yeah, I think the issue is like people just seem to be hating it for some reason, and I'm just kind of talking to our listeners and being like, honestly, ignore all of the little moany people on Twitter. It's brilliant.
I feel like our listeners at this point just know by now that when you're saying something, it's usually just best to go, oh, Liam's saying something. He's probably different to everyone else, so I'm just going to ignore it.
Yeah.
And that was the right decision, listeners. Good job. I'm glad you've learnt that.
That it's
After all these years.
once it starts raining again, I'm gonna moan my head off because
Well, it's raining tomorrow,
so
so
bored
here we
of
go.
seeing people moaning.
It's
about
raining
the heat.
tomorrow till Sunday, and it's thunderstorms.
Yeah, I heard it's
so
meant to be a
have
4-day
fun.
storm.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I enjoy thunderstorms.
They're fine.
Cool. Anything else you've done, Liam, apart from
Just
sit in the heat, is I think what we can take from your catching up with?
Yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Oh, it's made going to
How
the cinema
exciting.
good, except I missed out on an unlimited screening because the cinema emailed me the morning of the screening and were like, so our aircon's broken in that screening room.
Ooh.
We've been kind of putting people off of going to any screenings that we have in there. The most people we've had at one point was 20, and it hit something like 30 degrees in that room. We've got 120 people booked for this unlimited screening. Please don't come. So
I'd have gone.
I mean, so I'm kind of here like maybe move it to a different screening that has aircon.
I'm assuming, Liam, they've probably, got those screenings booked. Those screens have probably got people in them or just been emptied of a thing. And weirdly, they probably don't want to, move a screening of people that aren't paying because you're all unlimited and they don't give a shit. You've already paid them.
Yeah.
They probably don't want to stop the people who are going to pay.
But wouldn't you want to treat your loyal customers
No,
well?
not at all. No, because you're already paying, and they're not going to scare you away by making you miss. Not even telling you can't go, just saying, please don't come to this one. You're not going to not pay them.
I think it's ridiculous.
Show them that by not paying for your unlimited screenings.
Well, if I move to somewhere that doesn't have a Cineworld, that is what I'll be doing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not because you're in rebellion, it's because you might move somewhere different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, I just think, sort it out. Just fix the aircon.
Yeah, I think they probably were.
Well, not quick enough. So I missed out on that. So
Also, for someone that loves the heat so much, it seems weird to me that you then went. They went, oh yeah, it's going to get to 30 in there, which is the current temperature is 34 outside.
yeah, that was with like 20 people though. You know that if it's going to be like,
yeah, it probably gets like 36. So
no,
like today,
it would,
and you're loving it. And dude, you're loving it. No, Liam, remember you're loving the heat. It's like you're on holiday. I'd imagine you'd have gone in that cinema and been like, woohoo! Some Hawaiian weather in here.
The first time I saw Batman vs Superman was in a screening that was pretty busy and had no aircon, and it wasn't.
Oh my god! It now all makes sense why you love that film so much, because you literally were tortured while watching it, and you've come. Oh, it's Stockholm syndrome. I got it.
Yeah, but then I went to see it a second time and still loved it.
But by that point you were already beset with Stockholm syndrome. It all makes sense now.
Indicted?
I'm glad we solved that.
Is that the word?
Go on, say again.
Indicted? Is that the word?
What word were you trying to say?
Like when you kind of like become indicted by a prisoner situation, or like brainwashing. What's the word for that? I don't think it is indicted.
I mean, the term is Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, but there's a word that is.
You're thinking of, I think,
indoctrinated.
Indoctrinated, you were thinking
That's
of.
the word. Yeah. There we go. Say nerd on nerd. We're not the best with words,
but we get there.
Well,
but we try hard.
Have you got anything else for catching up with? Yeah, just summer party.
Yeah, no, listeners, we're on a bad recording schedule again. After fixing it, we had, I think, one episode where we were proud and we were like, we're back on schedule, everything's fine. And then we're bad again. This episode we are recording it
Thursday.
3 days after it was meant to go up.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that in like a let's blame people. I'm not going to point fingers. I'm just saying
it would be impossible to, because, well, it wouldn't be impossible to.
We know that who could we blame? But
we know that it was
what I'm saying, I'm not trying to have a go, Liam.
Equal
responsibility. What I'm saying is that it means we aren't having a lot of time between recordings to go and do stuff.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot. I went to a load of films. I've got like so many films that I've had to not talk about 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I've been doing stuff, but it's not for catching up with. It's for.
I mean, also going to the cinema isn't like a day activity. You go, you watch the film, and you come home.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, but that's why you say like, oh, I've been doing so much stuff. I don't know if you can count like 2 hours a day as like, the busiest. Now it's time for everyone's favourite part of the show. Liam went to the cinema. Here's some stuff that he saw at the cinema. He's going to tell you some spoiler-free stuff of 3 things that he saw at the cinema. Liam, what did you see?
I saw Tag, which...
That's the one about the group of friends that have been playing tag every summer for 10 years?
Yeah, there's like a month of the year that they play it, and they've been playing it every year since they were at school, basically.
It's based on a real story.
I think it was like a news article. They kind of cover it in the film, but it was a couple of weeks ago now that I watched it, so I've forgotten. This was one of the ones that I couldn't do last week, so I've had to roll it over.
You have such shit memory. You need to see a doctor, dude.
Well, no, I just watch a lot of films, so I've probably watched like 15 films since then, so it kind of
gets
filtered away.
Bad that you can't remember it.
It's got people in it.
Who's in it, Liam?
It's got Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
It's got Ed Helms. It's got Jake Johnson. It's got Jon Hamm, Hannibal Buress. They're like the main people that play tag. And then you've got Annabelle Wallis, who plays the reporter, and a couple of other ladies in it. Rashida Jones, Isla Fisher. It's fine. It's a sort of like generic comedy that I'm pleased I have an unlimited card for, because I'd kind of resent paying like a tenner to go see it. But seeing it for free, it's totally fine. Passes a couple of hours quite pleasantly. The last act goes in a weird direction that you kind of feel like you're waiting for this like punchline, and it just never comes, and it's just it's a real odd choice. And like, so what's interesting, I thought, is it's based on a true story, and some of the stuff that you're watching is over the top, and it's ridiculously over the top, and you're kind of like, was that necessary? And then there's some stuff that you're watching that you're like, that looks over the top, and then at the end they kind of show you like footage of the real life people.
Oh, okay.
And you see that some of it really isn't as over the top as it first appeared.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I really like that, and I kind of just wish that they'd scaled back on the stuff that was just obviously over the top.
Rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hannibal Buress steals basically every scene he's in. And Annabelle Wallis is really good. I just don't think she's used enough in this film. Yeah, it was alright. 3 out of 5.
Fair enough. Yeah, completely average-ish.
Yeah. Then I went to see Ocean's 8. So
Remake, or not a remake. It's a new prequel,
No.
or maybe a sequel.
It's a sequel
To Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13.
and 13. Yeah, correct.
Boom. Look at me, Liam. I'm dropping all the film knowledge this week.
It's very impressive. They sort of did like a Ghostbusters where they've just gender swapped everything.
Yep.
Which is fine. I think the ladies that were in it, most were okay. Cate Blanchett is really the best. She's just fantastic.
Yeah. How's Rihanna?
Not terrible. She's not in it a lot.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
But when she is in it, it doesn't feel like you're watching Rihanna like playing at acting, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, because you know sometimes like when you get like
Yes.
singers in films and it's like, oh, you're trying, but there's an obvious gap here between you and everyone else. Yeah, it's not quite like that, but she honestly isn't given a whole lot to do.
Fair enough.
Anne Hathaway's good. I like Anne Hathaway. There's like a lot of backlash around her a few years ago, I think. I never really understood why.
Was it about a specific thing or just...
Not really. I think it's just she got really popular really quickly and people just don't like that.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, just you know what people are like though. They like to build people up and then tear them down, and I think it was that sort of situation.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Mindy Kaling, I'm not a huge fan of from stuff that I've seen her in, and it's
I don't know who she is.
She was in the US Office.
Who did she play?
I can't remember her character's name.
Oh, okay, don't worry about it.
She was the gossipy one.
Oh, okay, I think I know.
She had her own show called something like the Mindy Kaling Project.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Mindy Project. That was it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you Google her, you'll probably recognise her.
I don't want to kill the internet.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, she's kind of just... She's not like... She's playing a character. Like, it's not like just her doing her shtick. But equally, I still just wasn't that like... What's the word? I don't think she was that good. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Helena Bonham Carter's in it as well. She wasn't that good. She's really just gone massively downhill lately, in my humble opinion. Sandra Bullock's fine, but yeah, it's really like anytime Cate Blanchett's on screen, you're just like, now the film's good.
Does it just do the same sort of formula that all Ocean's films have done so far?
Yeah, where you're like, oh, how are they going to do this? Oh, they've done it. Oh wait, no, there was a heist within a heist type thing.
Yeah.
And
then like a big at the end, like here's how we actually did it.
Exactly. Yeah, basically that. Weird choice to have James Corden pop up like about 2/3 into the movie.
I think I remember seeing either a clip or something of him.
He was in the trailer.
In one of the trailers.
Yeah, he was in the trailer. Yeah.
You alright?
I don't know how to like. It's someone else that seems to have had like this huge backlash lately. I don't mind him.
No, I like James Corden.
He's terrible in this movie though.
That's fair. You can say that.
Yeah, he's just awful, absolutely awful. So pointless. He kind of comes in like the last like third, and he sort of plays this person that's trying to investigate what's gone on. So he's really there to just like handhold the audience through it all, and I don't know, it's just awful. Anyway, the movie's fine. It's not as good as Ocean's 11, but it's better than I think Ocean's 13, maybe.
Yeah, I can't really remember which one's which, but I remember 11 being good.
Yeah, 11's great, and then 12 and 13 are both just... They sort of stumble a bit.
Yeah.
Ocean's 12 is the worst, in all fairness. There's this whole bit in it that is just pathetic, where, I can't remember who it is, one of the actresses, it might even be Sandra Bullock, is like mistaken for the real Sandra Bullock in the film.
Oh, that sort of rings a bell.
Yeah, it's awful. It's there was a horrible like element to that film, and yeah, I think so. It's probably like the second best of the four.
Fair enough.
I was hoping that there'd be like a cameo in this one from either like a George Clooney or a Brad Pitt or even a Matt Damon, but nah. There is a cameo from like the Ocean's films, but it's no one that anyone's going to really care about.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, right, so
Just
slightly
super
worse
average.
than average.
Just super average.
Just completely average.
Yeah. Just completely average.
What's the third thing you saw, Liam?
So good. Film of the week. I saw Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Okay.
What?
No, I was preparing myself for you to... you were obviously going to love this film.
Was it obvious, though?
Yes, you love any film that has music in it.
Fair point. So here's the thing. I hadn't seen Mamma Mia.
No, neither have I.
Knew about it. I knew it was, all ABBA songs. I'm not hugely familiar with the works of ABBA, in all honesty.
No, I'm not a big ABBA fan. I know a lot of their songs, but...
Like, I know
ABBA always reminds me of, like, going to a disco as a child.
Oh, it reminds me of, like, going on, like, one of these holidays where they used to have, like, those sort of discos.
Yeah, that's true. I went to a Butlins once, and they had someone play ABBA for, like, a whole night.
Yeah.
And me and my friend got very bored.
Wouldn't surprise me. So, like, the songs that I knew, probably, like, Dancing Queen, SOS.
Waterloo?
Yeah, Waterloo, but that's not in the first film.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Is it in the second one?
Yeah.
How the fuck does it fit in? Whatever.
It fits
don't
in
spoil
perfectly. It fits in so good. Right, so, I hadn't seen the first one. I watched it, like, on a Friday night. And the other problem is Kat hates ABBA with a passion. Like, with a burning passion.
Fair.
So I put the film on, and within 3 minutes, Kat had stormed out of the room. She was not a happy girl. So I knew that, like, watching this, one, I knew there was a chance that I would like it, because it's obviously a musical. And two, I knew that would open up a huge can of worms, because when I like a musical...
You want to listen to it, you can't listen to ABBA because Kat will punch you.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a simple solution, which is you put your headphones in, have a little listen.
Nah, don't do that.
No, because you're an arsehole.
Exactly.
But anyway.
So yeah, I watched the first one, and it's good fun. It feels like the actors are just kind of doing karaoke, in all honesty. Like, the singing is not great, and the story is kind of, like, flimsy, but...
She's, like, trying to figure out who her real dad is, right?
Yeah.
The mum doesn't know.
The mum doesn't know. There's 3 potential fathers. Played...
Pierce Brosnan.
Yep. Colin Firth.
Yeah.
And I think it's Stellan Skarsgård. How do you say his name? Let me just double check.
No idea.
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. You would know him. He played. He was in Marvel movies, in Thor and the Avengers, as like the scientist dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah.
The main character is Amanda Seyfried. She's the one that's trying to figure out who her dad is, and you've got Meryl Streep playing the mum. And I just had a good fun time with it. It was like you watch it and you're like, I'm not sure, and then you find yourself just being kind of sucked into it, and like there's no like one element of it that's particularly great. It's just everyone looks like they're having so much fun that you kind of can't help but just smile and enjoy it.
I don't know why, Liam.
Yeah.
But the image of you, Kat having stormed out, so you're alone.
Yeah.
You just sitting in your living room, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just picturing you like staring at the screen, and then occasionally just sort of shaking your head and giving a cheeky little smile and being like, "Oh, you got me, film." And that really upsets me.
That's kind of what happened, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine.
Like you get to a point in the film where you're just like, oh, "You've won me over." It's just so charming.
It's honestly filling me with disgust picturing you doing this, and I don't know. Like, there's nothing remotely sexual about it, but I'm revolted.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So the other issue that I knew this would cause is enjoying Mamma Mia meant that I would obviously want to go see Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Yeah.
But I would also obviously have to go by myself.
Yeah. Which is fine. People go to the cinema by themselves.
Totally fine. Except it's another one of those situations where I'm sat there just surrounded by women.
Yeah.
Who are probably just like, why? Why is this dude just sat here by himself like a loser?
What seat do you go for in that situation? Did you go for the sort of subtle, I'm going to sit at the back and just hope no one notices? Or did you go, I'm going in the middle?
Middle aisle, where I always go.
Yep.
Don't care. What was really pleasant about seeing it, right, is it was very obvious in the audience. It was a lot of like mothers and daughters that had gone together.
Yeah.
And that was just nice to see.
Oh, okay.
It was nice to see that like...
Again, another situation that makes me very upset with you. You just saying, It was nice to see some mothers and daughters together. I don't know why, Liam.
Yeah, just watching this movie and just having a good time. Let me just say straight off the bat, Mamma Mia, here we go again. Better than the first Mamma Mia.
Cher's in it.
She is in it. Not until, like, quite close to the end, to be fair. But, like...
But she sings Fernando.
She does. They've revealed that she's in it in all the trailers and stuff, so it's not a big spoiler.
No, it's not. No, it's not a spoiler. It was I saw a YouTube, like, advert, not even a trailer, just them talking about the Cher song.
Yeah. It's another one of those films that's just... Like, with the first Mamma Mia, I had to warm into it. Like, and then there was that stage where I was like, you got me. With this one, just instantly, I was like, I'm here for it. It was so good. So the first one, it felt like the actors were just playing, like, karaoke. Whereas in this one, it feels like they've actually spent some time going to, like, vocal lessons and stuff. Apart from Pierce Brosnan, bless him. Like, he's awful in the first one with his singing, and he's just as bad in this one. But his dancing is just fantastic, so I just forgive him.
Does he do dad dancing? I imagine him as a dad dancer.
He does.
Yeah.
It's so good. It honestly is. In this one, so the story of this, like the first one you had her trying to figure out who her dad was. In this one, it's told in two different timelines. So you have her mum kind of younger getting into the situation with the three different men.
Yeah.
So you see how that happens. And then,
is it all on one night, that?
No.
Okay.
No, it's in the space of like a week.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's somewhat better.
Well, I think it would have been kind of cool of her to just be like, whatever.
Just raw dogging three different men in one night.
Well, you've made it more upsetting again.
So that's one timeline, and then the second timeline is like 10 years after the first movie, and it's just focused on like where the characters are now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be careful with what I say because I don't want to spoil things. I was not prepared for how frequently and how heavily hitting the emotions I would be by this film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, honestly.
Did you cry?
I didn't, but there was definitely a couple of moments where I was like choked up a little bit.
Whoa. This film broke through the icy heart that you have.
And the thing is, so you have Lily James, who plays essentially like Meryl Streep, but younger. Yeah. I love her. I watched this movie and I just fell in love with her. She is so good. Absolute highlight of the film. Just... I would challenge anyone to watch this movie and just not love her. Fantastic.
Fair enough.
The choreography this time around is a lot more impressive. It's everything that you liked about Mamma Mia, but better.
Okay. Well, there you go, listeners. If you liked Mamma Mia 1, you'll love Mamma Mia 2, says Liam.
Yeah. And this is coming from someone that doesn't even know, like, probably 60% of the ABBA songs that were in this, I didn't know.
But it is also coming from someone who loves musicals.
Yeah, but I think anyone with a heart loves musicals.
Well, why do you love them?
Because I've got a heart. It's just, you know, it takes the musicals to thaw
It's like the Grinch's heart.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think you should go and see it, and you should watch the first one, because...
Yeah, well, I'll just cry like a baby and love the whole thing, I know that.
Yeah, exactly. So do it. Get on with it.
Yeah, I will at some point, don't worry about it.
I'll be out of cinema by the time you get around to it.
Whatever.
Exactly.
I'm a busy girl, Liam. I've got tons of stuff to do.
Yeah, I think you should go with your mum.
She's already going. She's not going to want to see it twice.
You might be surprised. I want to see it again.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, how many times did you end up seeing Greatest Showman?
4, I think.
Yeah, so... What'd you give it out of 5, Liam?
4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not as good as The Greatest Showman, let me just say that now. Doesn't have Zac Efron in it. God, could you imagine if it had Zac Efron in it?
You'd literally cream your pants.
Oh, wow. But yeah, it doesn't. So, only a 4, unfortunately.
You should write some fan fiction.
Like the time Zac Efron went into Mamma Mia.
Yeah. You could use the songs they haven't used yet. It would be great.
To be honest, yeah, because like Amanda Seyfried's love interest in the film is played by Dominic Cooper. I can't stand the guy. Ridiculous. Just I would write him out, put Zac Efron in. You've got cinematic perfection right there.
There you go, Liam. Get writing, buddy.
Yep. So that's all the things that I'm allowed to talk about this week. What you didn't get was The First Purge, Skyscraper, or the new season of the Joel McHale show with Joel McHale. Maybe next week.
Maybe.
Who knows? All because stupid rules are imposed.
Yeah.
Even the listeners don't like the rules.
I don't give a shit.
I do. I listen to our listeners. What have you been up to? Have you got any reviews?
You listen to one of our listeners. Yeah, I've seen...
We only have one listener.
Liam.
Yeah.
I saw
yeah.
The first season of... Liam.
Yeah.
Legend of Korra.
Anime?
So, it's interesting because it's technically done in an anime style,
Okay.
but it's a Western show.
How does that work?
So it's all drawn anime. Have you ever heard of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah, I saw the M. Night Shyamalan film.
Yeah, but I refuse to watch that because I heard such negative things, and I love the original show so much.
Oh yeah, it's not
But,
good.
no. So it's the sequel to that, like a new show set in a new I think it's 50 years after the first
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
But it's all done by the Western world, but it's all drawn in an anime style.
Okay.
And it's got lots of like Chinese lettering. A lot of the text is written in
Is
Chinese.
that like cultural appropriation?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I don't think it is, because it's the style, and it isn't like the Chinese themes in it are not like they're in China. It's
Yeah.
I'm just checking that it was made. I think it was. Yeah, it's an American animated. Yeah. I just had to double check that. Okay, so I was completely fucking wrong. Yeah, no. The Legend of Korra takes place 50 years afterwards. So a bunch of the characters, most of the characters you knew from the first one are like dead
Okay.
and live on in legend, and you're following a girl who is the Avatar, which means in this world, Liam, people can bend water, fire, air, or earth.
But the Avatar can do all of them.
She can do all four.
Yeah.
So you're following her, and it's so awesome, and I love it. And it's just, it's one of those shows that, like, when we have Dan Palmer on the show, and he talks about, like a kid's cartoon, it's kind of like that, in that it was on Nickelodeon, it was made for a younger audience, really, as their like primary, but the story in it is so good, and so like there are some really emotional bits, especially in like The Last Airbender. Like, I've only done one season of this one, but there's been a couple of moments where I was like, oh my god, this is such a good story.
Okay.
It's just honestly, you would hate it.
Probably, yeah.
So I'm not going to recommend it to you.
What makes it good though? Like, so when you say there's a couple of sad bits, like, does it work on a different level for you as it would for a kid, like Toy Story 3, or are you just big baby?
No, I think there's definitely stuff in it that a kid might not necessarily immediately jump to. Like, there's stuff they do in it that is horrifying. The idea of what someone is doing is like, there's a thing. So the waterbenders, there are a small minority of them have this ability called blood bending.
Okay.
Where they're so powerful that they can control the fluid in your blood.
Yeah.
And the idea of that, and the way they show it in the show, is horrifying. Like, nothing gory or anything, but when you see someone's body moving, the way they've animated it is so well done.
Yeah.
That the body looks almost like it's all just not connected by muscle, and they're moving bits around, and it's like, it's upsetting because you're sitting there and you're like, this power would be the worst thing for some people to have. Like, they could just kill you.
Well, yeah.
And this show, because it's for kids, they're like, oh, they didn't kill someone. But there's definitely scenes where you're like, I think that person they just took away definitely dies.
Okay, cool. Got you.
But yeah, no, honestly, it's so well done. It's just a really good story. If you like good stories, and if you saw Avatar, definitely watch Korra if you haven't already.
Do you have to have watched one before the other? Like, do you get more out of it if you have?
You definitely would get more out of it. A bunch of the characters are like descendants of.
Okay, got
not
you.
the main characters, but there are like a lot of side characters that they'll be like, oh my god, you're whoever's daughter.
So it's not like
oh
you don't have to have watched it, but there's like an additional layer to it if you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, well worth watching. I give it like this first season probably a 3.5.
Okay, I was expecting it to be higher after that review.
Yeah, I don't want to give it a 4 because I think it's still finding its feet, and some of the big baddie in the first series, it's not used as much as it could be.
Okay, yeah.
But I get it because they're sort of setting up the universe and what's changed so far.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit the way.
What?
Well, yeah, whatever.
What?
It's just
No,
the big bad.
what was your point you were going to make there?
No, I can't. It's a spoiler, so I can't say.
Okay, fair enough.
The way they use the big bad in the first season is not as good as it could be. He's still an amazing bad guy, but it's not as good as it could have been.
Is that because they're trying to target it at kids so they can't be like,
No.
look how bad this thing is?
No.
Okay.
No, because what he's doing is horrifying and upsetting.
Okay.
I think he does something in one of the scenes that was the reason I was like, oh my god, this is actually emotional.
So how could they have made that bit better then? For you?
Well, I can't say because it's a spoiler.
Okay.
which is why I was carefully trying to avoid it.
Fair enough. How's American Psycho coming on?
Haven't read any more of it. Hate it. Don't want to. Had some advice from someone who said... I spoke to a guy at work who has read it.
Yeah.
And when I said to him, it's like the most difficult read in that I'm so bored.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I totally get it. It's a ridiculous book. You should never read it. He said, it's one of those books where when you read it, you can look back and be like, oh, I get it and all this stuff. And I was talking to him and I was like, look, here's all the things I've said that I think this book is doing and why, like I always say, I got it so quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, I know what this book is doing. And he basically said to me, yeah, the rest of the book is going to be doing that. It does get more graphic and more violent, but the rest of the book is still doing the same shit you thought it was doing.
So I wonder why it's so, like, highly regarded.
Apparently the author, none of his other books are like this, apparently. Apparently he's a really good author and the other books are really good. But American Psycho, because he was trying to make the point that he's trying to make in it.
Yeah. Have you seen the film? I can't remember.
No, I was going to watch it after I read the book.
Are you still going to do that?
I probably will once I finish the book. Cause
you don't have a lot left of the book, do you?
25%.
And how many pages is the book in total?
I can't remember. I'm reading it on my phone / Kindle, so it's...
But you've probably got, less than 100 pages left.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think so.
That's doable.
Yeah, no, it's totally doable. I just don't want to because it's so boring.
Just get on with it.
Like, I have so much other stuff I could be doing, like playing video games and watching TV shows and watching films. And, like, there's already good TV shows that I'm not watching that annoy you, Liam. So, like, to then take an extra bit of my time to read a book that I don't particularly want to read, and also you don't care that much about, you just want me to finish it so we can do other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think... I didn't enjoy your book reviews when you started them because it was just like you just being like, oh, every single book's great and it's like 4 out of 5. And then we started kind of going down different paths and you were doing books that like weren't necessarily like books that you knew you would like, sort of thing, like Fluke.
But I hope you realise when I finish American Psycho, I'm going to read. I've got a bunch of stuff that's come out from the stuff I love.
Oh yeah, I'm fully anticipating that, but I want to get through that so we can go back into the interesting things where it maybe isn't like. It's either stuff that's going to surprise you that you like Nocturnal, or, it'll be stuff that... I enjoy your book reviews when you have, like... It's not just, I love it. There's like a duality to the review, where you're like, here's some of the stuff I like, and here's the stuff that I don't like.
Sure.
So I'm looking forward to getting back to that one day.
Cool. Well, you should never have recommended me this book, Liam.
Well, apparently it's really popular and famous and well-regarded.
I don't think it's popular. I think it's just famous.
Well... I have no idea. How would we decide if a book is popular or not?
I guess we'd look at what people are saying about it.
Yeah, like on Goodreads or something.
Yeah, but I can't be bothered to do that now. Let's just move on.
I'm doing it already.
No, let's just move on.
I just want to see what score it's got. Hang on.
This is going to be a quick episode. Oh, is it, Liam? Oh.
Yeah, it will be.
Doing so well.
3.82 average rating.
Out of?
5.
So, like,
above average.
So that's probably a mix of people who hated it and loved it.
Yeah, well, that's what most sort of like sites like that are going to be, right? Like IMDb is going to be the same.
No. What?
Yeah.
No, because you can get a high score on IMDb. We were looking today and we saw 2 shows that were 8 stars.
Yeah, which means more people liked it than disliked it, but you're still going to have some that dislike it.
Yeah, but that's obviously what I meant, Liam, was it's a mix, as in like a near perfect mix of people that didn't like it.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's polarising. It's probably not a bunch of people going, this is an average book. I would guess that American Psycho is a polarising book.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Housekeeping.
Keeping the house is Liam's
Have you
job.
done any more culture swap stuff?
Did we? What was the recent thing that we were both like, oh, I was going to read more Spider-Gwen, but I haven't done that yet.
Okay. I obviously haven't.
Yeah, 'cause you didn't
we had a tweet. No, not a tweet. Well, we did have tweets. We'll get to that. We had an email.
Who from?
Alice Burns.
Is this a... It's a dodgy advert. I know what this email is. Move on.
Well, we had some tweets. Amanda said, new life goal, go to London Pride with Ellie. Ellie said, sounds like a plan to me. Amanda said, no need to track me down. I was just very sick when I listened to the last episode and not up to tweeting, but that Blu-ray player debacle sounded awful. And then she said that we should harass her mum, and Dave K _ says into listening more. And her mum said, no harassing the old women on Twitter. And then I flirted with her.
Oh, good. Please don't flirt with Amanda's mum.
I said, but you're not old, so we can harass you. And then a gif of James Franco winking.
Did she respond to that?
Nah.
Good.
Amanda did, saying my sentiments exactly. And for anyone wondering, I did ask. Amanda is feeling much better now. So
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
She also said, Ellie, I know 10 Criterion movies sounds like a lot, but since Liam and I are planning on watching all of them, that's some hardcore restraint compared to the 900 plus titles they have.
It is. I'm Amanda, I'm not contesting that Liam has got constraint. What I'm contesting is that he doesn't have as much as he thought he had, seeing as he thought he would get below the number at the start of the year. And so far, it's not looking good. A concise response, Liam. Very good.
Amanda also said the Spider-Gwen discussion got intense. I thought Ellie was going to mute Liam at one point. Also, yep. I saw that Spider-Ham is going to be in the animated Spider-Verse movie later this year. How do you both feel about that?
Yeah. Are you going to read the responses we did?
You said, I think...
You confused the shit out of me, Liam. Can I just point this out?
I didn't know if you were actually going to respond to live, or if you wanted me to read your response.
The last one you read out, where I could have responded live, you immediately read out my tweet responding, so I couldn't.
Right.
So then I waited in this one, because I was like, oh, he's just going to read it again, and then you don't.
I've got to keep you on your toes, haven't I?
No, you don't.
You said, I think the fact that we were having the argument for the second time made it worse. I'm glad Spider-Ham is in the movie, because it will annoy Liam.
Yeah.
I responded.
I still
can't
agree
see
with that
my
sentiment.
Response. Oh, probably because I did it from the Nerd on Nerd account. What did I say?
I think you just sort of said, Ellie's right, I deserved this.
Doubtful. I said I probably won't bother watching it unless I hear really, really good things about it.
What would you do if you heard that really good things about it, but all those things were...
How good Spider-Ham is.
Yeah, like everyone's like, this show is like 10 out of 10 because of Spider-Ham.
The thing is, I don't watch a lot of animated shows anyway, so I probably just wouldn't bother with it. Like I've heard, like DC have done a lot of good animated shows, like animated movies and stuff. Apparently, I don't watch them. I don't give a fuck.
You should.
Yeah, I've got enough things that I'd want to watch that I wouldn't add stuff like that I don't really care about.
Poor you.
That was housekeeping.
No, it isn't.
Isn't it?
No.
What's left?
Liam, there's another bit of housekeeping. Everyone knows this. I always do it consistently. So I'm surprised you forgot.
Yeah.
Liam, the last time I asked you, you were on 1,102 DVDs. It went up in the 24 hours between us losing an hour of recording and us recording the next part. You went up a DVD, so that was amazing.
Yeah.
So you're on 1,102. I think you said that a box set was on its way.
Hasn't got here yet. It wasn't a box set.
Good.
It was the 10 Criterions.
Oh, so they've not got there yet. So they're not on. So the number's gone down, obviously. So what are we talking? 1,000 and... I don't know, 90?
1,096. So it's going down.
It's gone down, Liam. That's you're nearly there.
Yeah. Nearly.
Don't know if you'll make it.
Well, nearly there.
We'll see.
I just remembered that I had another thing that I wanted to review, but I forgot.
That's fine.
I just forgot all about it. Remind me next time to review Bloodborne.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Because I want to discuss that.
Yeah.
'Cause I played it for a very specific reason.
Yes, so you can finally complain about it and I won't shoot you down immediately.
Exactly.
Yep.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
We watched
Liam.
Glow season 1.
Okay.
I thought we were in a rush. I thought, time was ticking.
Bye. That was Nerd or Nerd. See you later.
Catch you later. What do you think of it?
Liam, what is Glow about?
It's about gorgeous
listeners,
ladies of wrestling.
This bit's going to be full of spoilers for the first season of Glow. So if you're interested in going and watching it, it's on Netflix. Go do it. Then come back and listen to us. We'll still be here.
If you
I think that might count as 2 listens for us. So
no spoils. But if someone's on the fence about watching this, what would you say to convince them to watch this, or to convince them not to, depending on if you enjoyed it or not?
If someone's on the fence, no spoilers.
Yeah.
I'd say it's just a I was going to say a fun show, but then I don't know if that's the right way to describe it.
No.
Because some bits aren't so fun.
No.
I don't know. It's an interesting look at female wrestlers with a sort of, not historical. What do you call it? Like a... What's it called when it's like set?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like recent history. It's
Yeah. It's based on true events.
Yeah.
There is a documentary on Netflix that's about the real Glow sort of thing.
Yeah, which I've not watched yet, but I want to.
Yeah, I thought you might.
But yeah, I don't know. If you're interested in, what that time period was like, or wrestling, or...
That time period being the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, go watch it. What would you say, Liam, to discourage people from watching it?
To discourage people?
Well, I assume you would want to discourage people, because...
No, I'd say, if you want to watch it, there's plenty of other shows that might be better. if you want to see Alison Brie totally naked, this is the show for you.
It's the wrong reason to be watching it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can already tell we're going to fall out in this episode. So, listeners, from now on we are doing spoilers.
Yeah.
Liam.
Yeah.
What's Glow about?
It's about gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Doing what?
Wrestling.
What do they look like?
Ladies.
No, I was hinting you for gorgeous.
They're not all gorgeous, though, to be fair.
That's really mean of you. Glow is about a group of women who are hired to act in a wrestling tournament thing for TV.
Yeah, most of them have zero prior wrestling experience.
Yeah. I think there's one... No, there's two that have experience.
Yeah. What? Is there?
Yeah.
The trainer.
The one who's the one who's the daughter of the wrestler.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say something, I've forgotten. One of the things I did like is it made the point that we made when we had Sam on, and I was saying how wrestling is just basically like a soap for guys.
Yes, yeah. When they said that, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said about wrestling. I was pleased that
We're
they made
smart.
that point. I wish that they'd done more with that, though.
How do you mean?
So they make that point, but then they don't really show the characters like sitting down and talking about like their storylines or planning any of that. It all just seems to be quite not unplanned, but it's done like off screen in a way. Like there is a loose storyline that's going on with all of the characters, but we don't really get to see them actually developing that at any point in the show.
Yeah, I think it's because
it's having this like, I think it's having this very thrown together like feel to it, where like most of the people involved shouldn't be involved. The director doesn't really care that much about it. Doesn't have like he's just doing it so he can get the money to make his movie afterwards. Yeah. So I think the point they're trying to make is it's just slapped together real like. But
even then, I mean, like I think the whole like wrestling's like a soap opera. I don't think that scene was meant to be like so everything's, you know, it's this entirely scripted. Like we've got to have these deep stories. I think they were making the point of like the flow of the fight.
Yeah, I just would have liked to have seen him.
The guy that says that to them is like, you know, I mean, when you look at the wrestling match that he has,
yeah,
because they at one point go and watch a famous actress who has joined the wrestling group,
yeah,
is not really getting it and is sort of like, why am I wasting my time with this?
She was a soap actress.
So she goes and watches with two of the other ones a wrestling match, a live one.
Yeah.
Afterwards meets up with one of the wrestlers and he says to her, it's kind of like a soap.
Yeah.
Or she says one of them says it's kind of like a soap.
Yeah. And that's when it clicks for her.
Yeah. And I think he could, but when you actually look at his fight, it wasn't like an in-depth story or anything. It was just like, this guy kidnapped my girlfriend. So I think it's more meant to be like, oh, I see. So I'm.
But what I mean is, I would have just liked to have seen, just some, I don't know, some sort of discussion just going on about them sort of saying like how they planned the lineup and how they planned having those storylines, like, you know, not just quite harshly jump from one to the other, like the thought that might have gone into that process, sort of thing.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what the show's about, so I get it.
Yeah, no, I get what I didn't. I'm just saying I would have liked to.
Yeah.
I thought the show, for me, like the best stuff was seeing them like doing the wrestling training, practicing the wrestling, and doing the actual wrestling stuff. Like all of that stuff I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I also liked, this is something that Kat mentioned to me. I didn't really notice it until Kat pointed it out. But the show didn't like, I don't know if it was makeup or not, but you could see the bruises on the women in the show.
Could you?
Yeah. Like when they're training and stuff, like Alison Brie particularly, like her legs have got bruises and stuff on them. And I don't know if that was like makeup or if it was just, oh yeah, you've got this bruise from doing this, we're not going to cover it up, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. Now that you've said it, I do sort of vaguely, I can sort of picture it, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I did sort of pick up on it, but not really.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of good that they showed that, even if it, you know, was makeup or whatever. It was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Another positive, I thought Mark Maron, who is probably better known for podcasting, super good actor.
Who does he play?
The director, Sam.
Okay, cool.
Like I was not expecting him to be, like, because I only really know him as a podcaster, not expecting him to be a great actor.
I only know him as a name in podcasting.
Yeah. He does...
he's such a good character in this.
Yeah. Yeah, really
just
good.
like this creepy 80s director who directs B movies.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I can't remember what his podcast called. Is it like What the F with Mark Maron or something?
Something like that, Liam. What's the hippie hap with Marky Mark? Are you Googling it? Just search Mark Maron podcast.
Yeah, that's what I searched, and I got to his IMDb, to his Wikipedia page. It's just WTF with Mark Maron.
There we go.
Done. Yeah, those were like my main positives. What about you?
Yeah. I really liked the way it took a character who... So the main character, Ruth,
Yeah.
is
Played by Alison Brie.
Yeah. She's this super nice girl who just sort of is trying to do the best for everyone and sort of fucking it all up.
Yeah, I can see from other characters' perspectives why they might find her annoying, because she is nice, but she also does try too hard.
Yeah, 100%. And also does something really fucking horrible.
Yeah. Do you want to...
Like,
we should talk about that.
The first episode, it ends with her fucking a guy?
No. The first episode ends with her best friend Debbie confronting her over the fact.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. That's all.
That's in the first episode, yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
You sure?
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right.
Why would you doubt me?
Yeah, I don't know. But you find out that she's there's a scene where she fucks some guy who like sneaks into her house, and she's like, "Oh, I thought we agreed."
That's
not
when
to do
you
this.
see her naked for the first time. Not the last.
Wasn't keeping track of it.
Well,
you then find out later that it's her best friend's husband.
Yeah.
Who they've just had a kid or have a kid.
Yeah, very recently had a kid.
Yeah. So, she's kind of a homewrecker, and that becomes her nickname for a little while in the show.
Yeah.
I really like the way it took this character who is trying to be nice and, is annoying and sort of gets bullied by everyone else, but sometimes for the right reason, sometimes not.
Yeah.
And then you get to watch this, like, weird reversal in the wrestling part where she plays the villain. Like, she realises that she's actually quite good at being a heel.
Yeah.
Which is the wrestling term for a villain.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I enjoyed the way that flipped. And then, like, I liked that the show it was a funny show in terms of it was quite light-hearted for most of it, but then it would also take very serious turns.
Yeah, I never found it, like, massively funny. Like,
it's mainly Mark Maron who makes it funny.
Yeah,
I think it's in the first episode where he's having a discussion about whether she's attractive or not, and he's like, because I want to do you, but also, like, I don't. And you're kind of ugly, but I think you're really hot. And she's just very confused about why he's doing that.
Yeah. He does have some of the best lines, to be fair.
Yeah. But then it also takes like a really serious turn with her and him, where he goes with her to get an abortion because she finds out she's pregnant with her best friend's husband's kid.
Yeah, I do like their relationship and how that evolves throughout the course of the show.
Yes, where they actually sort of end up liking each other.
Yeah, although I can't tell if there's like a romantic undercurrent to that that's going to play out later, or if it is just a mutual like respect.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was heading that way.
Yeah,
but then I can't really see her being with his character, because he's, as much as like he has his sort of redemption moments where you're like, oh, he's kind of actually a good guy.
Yeah,
he's still also a sleazebag.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think one of the good things about the show is it's not. There's no like, this is the good character, this is the bad character. It's all just different shades of grey.
Yeah, which is always better than them just being like, this is the goodie.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think most characters, I think maybe only some, secondary characters don't really have that.
Yeah, like Carmen, who plays her wrestler, is Machu Picchu.
Yeah, she's just
lovely.
A fundamentally lovely person.
Yeah, she's probably my favourite character, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
I felt like there was a couple of characters that they didn't really. It felt like they were building them up to something, but they haven't quite got there yet with them.
Yeah, go on. Like, which one?
Sheila, the she-wolf.
Yes, is she a furry or a?
Yeah, it's not really sufficiently explained, is it? To be honest.
No, she's a person that dresses as this she-wolf character.
Yeah.
And you find out that you realise it quite early on that she genuinely is like, I'm this character.
Yeah, and there's quite like almost like a nice moment with her where she's talking to Ruth and she's saying how like this, for her, this isn't a costume. Like this is and it almost like hints at like there's something deeper going on with her, but it's just a hint. You don't really get to kind of explore that yet in the show. Like, there's another season, so they might pick up on that later on. But there was a few characters where I just would have liked to have seen a bit more done with them. Like the other one, I think it's Melanie, is it? The one that's kind of trashy.
Yeah.
Like
the one that's the sort of the dickhead character in the first few episodes.
Yeah, and she has like a lot of
of
screen time at the start of the show, and then they kind of forget her towards the end. And I was just like, you know, at first I thought they were doing something with her, and then they just don't. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was a bit odd.
I mean, I don't know if it's odd. It's, you know, it's a 10-episode series or whatever.
Yeah.
10-episode series of 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, no, it's half an hour.
Not going to
half
fit
an hour
everyone
episode.
Sorry, extra 10 minutes. Jesus Christ, you're right.
Well, that adds up to 100 minutes.
How did they not fit everyone in?
That adds up to 100 minutes, nearly 2 hours over the course of 10 episodes. So
yeah, okay.
Significant chunk of time.
It's still not a whole lot of time.
Another character that I really liked that did actually get a decent arc, I thought, was Justine.
Yeah, is that the...
like emo-y punk-looking girl.
Yes. Who doesn't get a whole lot of screen time at the beginning, but then becomes quite important in the last few episodes.
Yeah. And I think the last 3 episodes were the strongest.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely. They're, like, the most story intense in terms of, like, stuff is developing in the story.
Yeah. Another one that I felt like didn't really get enough done with her was Tammy. Her wrestler name was the Welfare Queen.
Yes.
Like, she's great, and she's great in the ring. I just feel like you don't get to see a lot of her character outside of the ring.
Yeah, but, like, again, I'll forgive this stuff when it's, like, a 10-episode show.
Yeah, it's just, they've got, I think, it's something like, 14 wrestlers they start with or something, and it's a lot of characters to give a significant amount of time to each.
Yeah, so I think, and I think they make the right decision. I like, maybe it would have been better with the Welfare Queen if she got something like the She-Wolf, where you got the hint that there is a story there, because so far Tammy doesn't have that. I think, does she have a... I think there's a moment where she's kind of real with everyone, and like...
not that I can remember. What did you...
No, I think it's just when she's like, are they just being racist about me?
Yeah. What did you think of Kate Nash, who better known as being a singer?
Who did she play?
The British one.
Oh, okay. Well, I loved her character, which is probably weird because I don't know if you're meant to, but I thought she was good.
Yeah, I don't know if you're... There's nothing about her that's inherently dislikable.
No, but I don't think she was there to be like everyone's favourite.
No, definitely not.
And I do love... I think that character is definitely a funny character.
Yeah.
In terms of just... She plays a wrestler scientist who...
No, is she a scientist?
Yeah, she's a scientist.
I thought she was just smart.
No, but I think she wears a lab coat at the whole beginning and is like, this is why I'm a scientist, I think.
Right.
But then, she just carries around a book, wears glasses to look smart, and is maybe the stupidest character in the show.
Yeah, maybe. But she is banging the director.
She is banging the director.
For most of the show.
Yeah. But yeah, no, what did you think of her?
Yeah, she was alright. I think another one who you get to see naked, I think. But I think they spent a lot of time on her character, and it didn't, for me, need that much time with her. Because I didn't particularly... I thought she was okay, but she wasn't like... I would have rather have spent more time with Carmen or someone.
Yeah.
Because she's just so good. And I really liked her storyline with, like, her wrestling family not wanting her to get into the business and her, like, defying them.
I think just mainly her dad. I don't think her brothers particularly care.
It's mostly her dad.
Because they help her later on without the dad knowing.
Probably my favourite scene, to be honest.
When they're learning the wrestling moves from them.
Yeah, in the back garden.
Yeah, it is a good scene.
Yeah. Anything that you didn't like about the show?
I think it maybe could have done more with the whole... Because they definitely bring up the fact that it's set in the 80s and there's definitely a hint of racism going on with the black characters.
Yeah.
And they deal with it a little bit where the black characters are like, right, well, we don't want to wrestle old ladies because
that's going to look bad on us.
Two of the other wrestlers have the characters of old ladies.
The breakdown
so they get them to dress up as the Ku Klux Klan and wrestle them. And I was like, so they make a point of the black girls are like, hey, no, we don't want to just be token black people in your wrestling thing. Like, fuck you, that's racist. So we're going to make an anti-racist, like, beat up the Ku Klux Klan. But then that doesn't particularly come up later on in the series again. Yeah. And I was a bit like, oh, okay, I feel like they could have done more.
Well,
and they've got,
it kind of comes
Asian characters.
Like, do not include the Ku Klux Klan anymore.
Yeah,
they're trying to do like they're trying.
But that's not a racism thing. That specific bit that don't bring the Ku Klux Klan again. That's not.
It's because they're targeting like a Saturday AM slot mainly aimed at children.
Yeah. So I guess that's something I didn't like.
But I quite liked. I think Sam had like quite a funny line where he was just like, "Should we be including this for kids?" And he's like, "Well, you're never too young to learn about racism."
Yeah.
I like seeing his justification for it.
Yes. I don't know. What else I didn't like? Again, maybe the abortion story. Like, the actual story itself was deep. That episode that ends with her getting the abortion is kind of horrifying and sad.
Yep.
Like, not in abortion's wrong, because it's not, but it's just this sad moment that she has.
Yeah, like she said, it's just the wrong baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, again, nothing sort of comes of that afterwards. Like, it's not tackled again.
I think that's good in a way, because I'm kind of used to seeing American shows and films that bring up abortion, and it's this, like, it's obviously a huge topic.
Yeah, no,
but
I'm glad it's not a huge deal, but it's literally just a plot point in 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I kind of
done.
like that they've done it that way, where they're like, look, because I imagine for a lot of people that do make that decision, it is the sort of thing that, like, it obviously affects your life a lot at that time, but you kind of get on with things. And then
but I don't think you get over it in a day.
No, but I don't think...
Which, towards the end of this show, we are almost going day by day, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't hugely... What's the word? Like, I didn't notice kind of that being a problem for me. I really like the way they handled it in quite a... like, she'd made her mind up. You know, they...
Yeah, again, Liam, I don't want you misunderstanding what I'm saying, because this is a pretty important topic.
Yeah.
That, again, I'm not saying that they handled it badly.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's handled really well, and they don't make it like oh my god, you shouldn't be doing this, which is good. I agree with you. I'm just saying, for me... There
should have been more of a lasting effect.
Not even that, just maybe, like, not even, like, a lasting... I don't want it to be, you know, the rest of the show's just her being like, I can't wrestle anymore, because I'm so sad.
Yeah.
But it just felt like, very quickly, the show was like, okay, that's done.
I guess, in a way, she didn't really have anyone to talk to about it after it happened.
Well, I mean, at that point, she's kind of got Sam.
Yeah, and
because Sam takes her to it.
Yeah.
Which, again, is a really good moment of, like, Sam being a good person.
It is, but I think it's the next episode after that where he basically goes off on a massive bender. He just sort of disappears for a while.
Right at the end? No, maybe not right at the end. I don't know.
Because I think, like, the last episode is obviously the big wrestling show. The episode before that, if I remember rightly, is the fundraiser. And the episode before that is the abortion one.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anything, I think the fact that it isn't brought up again just sort of further highlights how alone that character is.
Yeah, sure.
It's not something I'd massively thought about until you started talking about it.
No, I mean, I haven't got a whole lot that I've had negative on this show, Liam, so I'm, like, trying to find the bits that were.
Yeah.
Not clutching at straws. Fuck you. Again, people, this is why it's difficult to do this with Liam, because he's just an arsehole.
Yeah.
And usually I shout, and I'm not shouting this episode. And I think when I don't shout, it's easier for people to see when you're just being a dick.
Potentially.
Yeah, so I think that's what I need to do, is I need to stop getting angry at you. I need to stop letting you rile me up.
Yeah.
So that people can just go, oh god, yeah, no, Liam is just an arsehole.
Yeah.
Half the time, Liam is just a dick.
Half the time. That's generous.
Well, I'm being generous.
Yeah.
We usually make it about 45 minutes into an episode before I'm like, God, you're really annoying today.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like every day it's a surprise.
What didn't you like about the show, Liam?
Oh, we've discussed this in the past and you disagree, but for me, so episode 1 ends with Debbie confronting Ruth in a wrestling ring, and it kind of then cuts to this really, like, what's the word, like, exaggerated, like,
it's Sam imagining,
like the potential of this thing,
headline fight,
and they've got like the whole like wrestling gear on, and they're having like a proper wrestling match and stuff. And to me, it's like, so he sees that that's kind of the, you know, that's how this show could work, being built around those two personalities fighting. And then we spend the next six episodes getting back to that point where Debbie finally agrees to actually work with Ruth in the ring. And I honestly, like, I didn't binge it like you did, because I think you watched like the first 6 episodes in a day or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I was watching like a couple of nights.
I finished it in 3, maybe.
Yeah, I was watching like a couple of nights. I honestly couldn't tell you particularly what happened in those first like 5 or 6 episodes. Like, to me, they just sort of blend together, where it's basically just them kind of auditioning, Sam kind of cutting the cast down and then starting to train and stuff, and a lot of Ruth trying to figure out who her character could be. And it just...
Yeah, I think you're being slightly unfair to the show, implying there's, like, nothing else going on.
No, so there's stuff going on, but what I'm saying is it's nothing that stood out to me as important enough that I'm thinking back and going, right, so that happened in that time period. It's just... to me, it just felt like the show getting to where we knew from the end of episode 1 it was going. It just felt to me like it took a really long time getting to where we knew it was going to go anyway. And once it got there, it was great. Like, I loved all of that stuff with them kind of like having this reluctant, like, well, we have to have a working relationship, but that doesn't mean I like you outside of the ring. All that stuff was great. It was just quite a long slog to get there for me.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that happens in those episodes that does set up stuff, like Debbie leaving Mark. You get episodes where Mark's trying to convince her that he's changed. Oh no, does that happen?
That happens in like the last 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, all right. You get you meet the producer. You get to meet the producer's butler.
Yeah,
that is another good character.
Odd.
His robot.
What's that relationship?
I think they're meant to be best friends, and he's done that thing that everyone talks about when they're kids, where they're like, if I was making loads of money, I'd hire you to be my butler.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're just friends who hang out.
Definitely not gay.
Because his butler's shit. Like, his butler doesn't do anything particularly helpful.
Yeah, I really like the relationship between the producer and Carmen.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
there's something going on there. I don't know if it's romantic or not. I can't figure it out, but there is definitely
I feel like it's definitely going to get to a point where that one is romantic.
Yeah, I hope so. That's a great element to the show.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. You get other stuff happening in those episodes.
You do, but none of it. Like, I think back and just none of it really stands out. Like, there's definitely stuff that happens, obviously, but I couldn't tell you specifically. But once we got to where the show was always going, I can then say to you, right, this happened and this happened and this happened. Like, it then kind of, it felt like it found its groove.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'll just quickly make my counterpoint to your doing it, but then we'll just move on, because like you said, we have had this argument a lot.
Yeah. And
I think people know our points by now. But my argument would be, like, yes, you know that where it's heading. I don't think that detracts from the story, because that's fine. Like, that's what prequel films do. That's how prequels work. With, you know where the story's going. Let's watch how it gets there. I think that's the interesting thing about this story, is not, we know it's going to end in a big wrestling match. That's fine. I think the interesting thing is, how did they get there? And, like, how do they convince Debbie and Ruth, who at the start of the season hate each other?
Yeah.
Or, well, Debbie hates Ruth.
Yeah.
So I think that's the interesting part of the story. I actually think that the final wrestling match, the interesting part of it is the fact that it reveals that Ruth and Debbie have actually worked even closer together in that final match than before, where they've set up, like, a fucking surprise Debbie act.
I don't think that was set up.
Debbie is wearing her uniform under her clothes.
She is, but...
Okay, yeah. No, you're right, Liam. She was just like, I'm going to casually wear my wrestling uniform.
No, so the way I read
that...
They
say to Sam, we got you.
So I thought that it was a sort of thing where they'd obviously rehearsed what was initially going to happen, but when Debbie said she wasn't going, I thought that her then revealing that she had the costume and everything was a surprise to Ruth as well as to everyone else. And then they were like, well, we've already practiced this match, so we know what we're doing. But I thought it was a surprise to Ruth. I didn't think that it was something that they planned, her like being in the audience and coming out. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
That's just the way I read
either
that
way,
episode.
I think. I definitely read it at first as them having planned it before, but I could see the argument for it not being that. But either way, I think that
I want to see Mark get his comeuppance.
Yeah, because that's definitely going to happen, because he's a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
And hasn't changed.
No, he's awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
Yeah, but I feel like he hasn't kind of been brought down a peg or two yet.
Yeah, I also really liked the twist ending where Welfare Queen wins the title.
Yeah,
I think that's because that's a proper, like, wrestling thing.
Yeah,
where,
that's
like,
setting up next week's storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Really? Yeah, and that's what Sam says. He's like, yeah, well, we need them to come back.
Yeah,
and they're not going to come back just to watch you be the queen. They want to see you fight for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I was like, oh, that's a cool ending. And I hadn't seen that coming, and I don't know why. In my head, I was just like, oh yeah, Debbie's going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I probably by like episode 7, I was like, oh, I think it's going to end with Ruth and Debbie fighting. But then when we got to this episode, for me, I was still surprised when Debbie did actually end up fighting, because I kind of was half expecting her to just watch or something. Like,
Yeah.
in some ways it's predictable what happens, especially if you're like familiar with wrestling and stuff. But in other ways, I it's not that I didn't see it coming. It's that the show got me to a point where I was like, it could go either way, and I don't know which way they're going to take it.
Yeah, which I think is a good way. If a show can pull that off, that like I know how this is going to end, and then right before that they trick you into sort of doubting that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that sort of counteracts all the like, oh, I've predicted this. As soon as you doubt it, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like
Just
this
generic.
happens to me.
Yeah.
I think the moment that you sort of second guess yourself, you have to sort of go, oh, okay, I think the show got me. Even if it then does the predictable ending, 'cause you're like, but I did doubt it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I just thought this show was like good. I think it's a cool look at how women were treated back there. Like, there's a couple of times where like I think the thing where Mark reveals that he hasn't changed is him being like, yeah, but it's just women like pretending to be athletes.
Yeah. When does he say that?
Is it not? Is it right at the end?
Oh,
isn't that what
so I'm getting
pisses her off,
confused.
Debbie?
Yeah,
off?
you're saying the husband says that, doesn't he?
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant like Mark as in Mark Maron.
Oh no.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
I meant husband.
I feel
Mark.
like it does do it. I don't know if it's a good job necessarily, but the women are very much in control of their like femininity in it, and it like they're the ones that suggest doing the car wash to try and raise money. Like, it never feels particularly exploitative, I don't think.
No, not in the like exploiting women in that way.
Yeah.
It definitely has the exploitative stuff with when what's the producer's name?
Bash.
That's it, Bash.
Yeah.
When Bash is like coming up with outfits, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're like Asian, so you get to be this," and then
Yes.
she's like, "I'm not from Japan,"
Yeah.
and he's like, no one's gonna notice that."
Yeah.
And you're like,
and like the terrorist.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm Indian."
But equally, I think that also highlights an issue. I don't know if it's still in wrestling today, but definitely when I was watching it in like the late 90s, early 90s, that was a recurring trend.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think it is as prevalent today,
No.
but it was definitely a problem that wrestling had,
Yeah.
and like, and and that's what I mean. I think it's doing a good job of showing that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it seem good. Like, you're not watching that scene being like, haha, good old Bash. You are like, oh yeah, no, this is definitely problematic.
Yeah. We had an
But
email
yeah,
about Glow.
Yeah, from...
Cate Blanchett.
What did Kat think?
She said, thought the season was okay. Last few episodes were the highlight, especially the wrestling match at the end. Enjoyed Alison Brie's performance, Ruth. Does drama and comedy moments well. Also love Machu Picchu's character too. Will likely watch second season, but wasn't really blown away by season 1. Probably a 3 out of 5 overall.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks, Kat.
Thanks, Kat.
I say I kind of agree. I at no point was
That doesn't surprise me.
hooked. Like I watched 3 episodes a night for the last like 2 nights. That's what, 6 episodes, which is most of it. But that was more because I knew we were recording. It wasn't because I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. Whereas I think for you, you were like proper binging it.
Yeah, I started watching and was like, oh, I really like the show, so I'm just going to power through.
Yeah. And I think you're probably going to jump straight into the second season, right?
Maybe not straight into, because I am currently watching the end of a season you recommended to me and the second season of Legend of Korra.
Right, okay.
But then I will then watch Glow, because I was annoyed when I finished it so quickly.
Yeah.
I was then like, fuck, now I have to wait to do season 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get around season 2. But yeah, it was fine. Like, there's nothing that it did particularly wrong. But not a lot of that for me it did massively right either. It was just alright.
Fair enough. So what do you give it, Liam?
3 out of 5.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Do you want to summarise why?
I think I've probably covered it in us talking about the things we liked.
Yeah, but that's why you summarise it. You kind of like...
Well, you're doing a book if someone's skipping ahead, but this is a podcast. They have just listened to me say it all.
Alright. People can just come up with
Don't worry,
their
listeners.
own...
I have faith in you. I think you can probably... Listeners, I believe in you. I think you've probably already figured out why I like this show, because I've spoken about it. If you need a summary, tweet me. I'll tweet you back, and I'll tell you. But I think we're good. I think I get you, listeners. Hey.
It's basically, if you're saying tweet me, it's basically, Amanda, do you need Ellie to give you a summary?
It's basically, is Amanda going to be annoyed that I didn't summarise it at the end?
Probably not, to be honest.
Yeah.
She's pretty switched on.
Liam,
Yeah.
what are we doing next time? I'm going to let you say it, because you've been begging for it for half a year, maybe?
Oh, longer than that.
Probably.
I think since we probably did Attack on Titan, which was...
That is fair, yeah. It's probably since we did the first anime on the show.
Which was, I think, it was in the first, 5 episodes, I think.
So, yeah, pretty much the entire show run you've been asking to do this.
Yep. So we're doing what I consider to be the greatest anime I've seen.
Yep.
Which is Barefoot Gen, for anyone that isn't a regular listener. So...
Yeah, is there... Can you do, like, a quick, like, a super quick, like, what is it for people that don't know, without spoilers? I'm assuming the big thing that happens in it, that's not a spoiler, right? Because that's the premise.
Let me see what IMDb says as its summary, see if I can just use that.
Okay.
Okay, not really.
Because why do the work if we can just steal it off someone else? I like it.
Yeah, it's basically about Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Basically about Hiroshima. From the perspective of a child.
Yeah. So it's going to be emotional, and I'm going to spend most of the film crying, is my guess.
I don't know. The thing is, because I've been banging on about it so much, I can see you just being like, I don't get what the big deal is.
Oh, no, I don't do that. That's you. You've got confused, Liam, from our discussion earlier about you doing this. No, I don't do this. I genuinely... Have I seen Grave of the Fireflies? I know I've seen one of them, Grave of the Fireflies, or this one.
Probably Grave of the Fireflies, then.
Yeah, and thinking it was like an amazing film. I also... Which one's Studio Ghibli? Is
Grave
that this
of the
one?
Fireflies.
Oh, okay. Who's this by? Do you know? Don't worry if you don't. We can do it. We'll talk about it next episode. So
Madhouse, apparently.
I need to learn to stop asking you questions because your urges kick in and you have to research the answer.
Yeah, but yeah, I honestly, I don't think it's any like major company. It is based on a manga, I believe.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. I feel like I've heard that before, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good in like this is an important film and we should watch it. I think it's probably going to be sad.
I made Kat watch it when I first watched it.
Did Kat cry?
She Skyped me afterwards because she watched it when she was visiting her parents, and she Skyped me with just tears running down her face, being like, "Why did you make me watch that?"
Yeah, I can imagine. So we'll see, listeners. If you want to hear me and Liam try to not argue about, one of the most horrific events in human history that we're going to have to be careful talking about because it's still pretty recent and horrific, listen to next episode.
Is it pretty recent?
Yeah, dude, it was only like the 1940s.
Yeah.
That's not a whole... Like, that's... Our grandparents were, like, kids when it happened.
I'm just trying to do some quick maths. So that's, 80 years ago now?
Yeah. That's not a lot... That's not a long time, Liam.
Is it recent, though?
I'd say it's pretty recent.
Okay.
In terms of, like,
the universe.
No, in terms of, like, fucking... The Victorian era, it's still pretty recent.
Is it?
No, the compared to the Victorian era, this is pretty recent.
Right. Okay.
I'm confusing you, Liam. I can tell.
Yeah.
So let's just move on.
Yeah, we're doing Barefoot.
Your brain's shutting down from all the heat that you love.
Oh, so good. We're doing Barefoot again. If you haven't watched it, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, go watch it. Let us know what you thought about it. We'll read out your emails next time.
Yeah.
You can send them to nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Or
tweet
you
us.
could tweet us them if they're short. Actually, longer now because Twitter increased their limit. So look at that.
280 characters.
Tweet us at nerdonnerdpod.
No, just at nerd on
No,
nerd.
just nerd on nerd.
Yeah.
Just nerd on nerd.
Facebook.
You could, Facebook. Leave us a Facebook message. Facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod, all one word. You could review us on iTunes. If you're doing that, maybe don't leave a review of Grave for the Fireflies.
What?
Not great.
You're making this complicated.
I'm overcomplicating it, listeners. When I said Liam's shutting down from the heat, what I meant to say is I'm shutting down from the heat. My room is an inferno. I'm covered in sweat.
Yeah, same.
I'm literally shining.
I'm sat in the dark as well.
Liam, you read this social media bit out. I've done 2 of them. You finish it off. Take us home, buddy.
Review us on iTunes, 5 stars. Why not? You could YouTube us. Search Nerd on Nerd. We'll pop up. Still uploading all the old stuff. Enjoy.
Yay. I'm so happy we're doing that.
Me too.
Liam.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any final thoughts?
No.
Bye.
Bye.